Hello and welcome to the Hitomi presentation. If you haven't heard of us before, we are specialists in measuring alignment, mostly for the live broadcast industry. What I mean by that is audio to video timing, what people call lip sync, but also audio to audio and video to video. Our products are in use around the world, ensuring live coverage is accurately lined up, so when the TV signals leave a venue, they've got perfect timing. Be it sports, news or a music concert, broadcasters of high-profile events use our stuff to measure when it's wrong, but also prove that it's right. Lip sync is a very subjective thing, and as everybody's eyes and ears and brain perceive things slightly differently, everyone's got their own different opinion. So at Hitomi, we have a scientific approach and we take out all of that guesswork. The principle is really simple. We launch a perfectly timed test pattern, a test signal which is absolutely spot on. We then measure by how much it gets messed up. Okay, that's an oversimplification, but stick around, stay watching, and we'll explain more.
That feed is the world feed.
Yeah. Plus 26. There you go. I was right. It is a frame. It's a frame out. So on here, we've got special decoder here. So I can decode that signal until it's 25 milliseconds out.
So do you tell Sounder?
Yeah. Let's get racked. Racked. Can you see camera 4 is 25 milliseconds?
We're now going to show you some working examples of using Matchbox Glass, our latest product, which really does make measuring lip sync very easy indeed. So normally we would be travelling around doing trade shows, but of course with COVID crisis that can't happen. So I'd like to show you some archive footage now where we had a real live audience and a proper demo where people were allowed to crowd round. This was back at IBC 2019, the show in Amsterdam. I'm on the stand and Anna is doing a roving reporter piece to camera.
That's how it works.
Certainly. Well, I think probably the best way to tell you how it works is to actually show it in action.
Let's do.
We're going to simulate a report, a live news report coming in from the field. We've got our Anna Cox out in the field with a mic, and I'm going to ask her to say a few words to camera, please. Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Matchbox glass enables quick and reliable camera lineup.
Yeah, can I ask you to stop there for a moment, Anna, because you really badly add a lip sync. We're going to have to make a measurement, I think. Have you got your iPad with you?
I do, yes.
Excellent. And you've downloaded the free Hitomi app, Matchbox Glass?
Yes, it is.
Lovely. Can you run the Glass app, please, and hold your iPad up in shot?
Okay.
So what we're doing now is we're running a special test pattern, which our system finds. It says the word camera because it knows that it's looking for this type of thing. A few seconds later, we make a measurement. You can hear that special sound. Oh, crumbs. 482 milliseconds late relative to the video. That'll be why it looks so bad. So I'm going to ask my colleague James over here if he could put in a dial in a delay to correct for that of minus 481 milliseconds. We're going to apply that. We take another measurement. As you can see, it is completely live. She's gone to 0. That should now be in sync.
Okay.
Anna, can you please give us a few more words to camera?
Okay, let's give it another try then. Matchbox glass enables quick and reliable camera lineup into truck, remote production facilities or news gathering operations.
Thank you very much indeed, Anna. That worked rather well. So there you have it. Just holding an iPhone or an iPad up in shot, running the Hitomi app, gives you lip sync in seconds.
Hello and welcome to the Hitomi headquarters here in beautiful Berkshire. The sun is shining and we've got a perfect day to come outside and do a piece to camera. So we're going to be showing you some clips today from different parts around the world to simulate what happens when people do a news report. Often you would have noticed when you watch the news that a person like me standing doing their little bit is out of lip sync. And of course they can't tell that at the time. Wouldn't it be lovely if there was some way of knowing before you go live whether it's right or not? And if it's wrong, by how much, so it can be fixed by the guys back at base. Well, that's exactly what the folks at Hitomi Broadcast have come up with. It's a really simple solution and you're going to find it very, very easy to use. It's an app that you can download from the Apple App Store onto your iPhone or iPad completely free. All you do is you hold your iPhone or iPad up in shot and back at base they can take a lip sync measurement. I'll show you how it works. Here's my iPhone. I'll unmute it. Okay, so just a few seconds is all it takes to send a reading back to the people who are going to be receiving the signal, where they have the Matchbox analyzer. The Matchbox analyzer, if it's got the glass license on it, will be able to decode that signal and give you immediately an accurate lip sync measurement. It's really that simple. Very useful thing to have, not just if you're a news reporter, but if you're setting up a remote production, for example, and you've got a different delay from different cameras, it can measure that too. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little teaser now of what the next video clip is going to be. So if you follow me out into the car park, here, this car belongs to one of the Hitomi employees. We have a fabulous vehicle, I think you'll agree. To the petrol heads amongst you, like myself, you'll probably recognise it. It is a fantastic replica of a Lancia Stratos, which was a winning rally car back in the day. She's absolutely fabulous, and having been in it myself, quite terrifying at times, but really, really exhilarating. So she belongs to Richard, who's going to tell you all about it coming up next. Hello everybody, welcome back. Here we are standing in front of this amazing looking vehicle, and its owner Richard is going to tell us all about it. Richard, how long have you had this car?
12 years now.
Wow, and quite an old friend by now, I expect.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is she reliable, or does she have those classic car bad manners? I know mine does. Mine breaks down quite a lot.
So far it's been pretty reliable. We've had one big bill out of it, but I think for 12 years that's not bad going really.
And she looks in amazing condition, I have to say. She's so striking. Do you get lots of people noticing you on the road?
You do. You get some crazy things on the road. People just slamming the anchors on in the middle of a roundabout to point and stare. You've got to keep on your toes.
That sounds a little bit scary. Okay, well, we're all loving the look of it, but can we hear the sound of it? Would you mind starting us up for her?
You certainly can.
Can I just ask you what engine she's got in it?
It's an Alfa Romeo V6.
Ooh, it's going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. It looks kind of snug in there.
It certainly is.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to go around the back so you can hear this properly. To a petrol head like me, that is absolute music. Okay, so this is Russell and Richard for Hitomi Broadcast. Hello again. Here we are outside at a picnic table in this lovely courtyard. With me here is Steve, who's one of the engineers from Hitomi, who has been doing a lot of really good work recently, including on Matchbox Glass. So Steve, this app has been kind of a secret for a while, I know that, and I know that it was tested with quite a few key customers. Was there any particular thing that customers said that made a difference to it?
Sure. So the field trials for glass have been quite important for its development. One of the things that was fed back to aid usability was the on-screen mute button, because the whole concept behind glass is that there's no training required. It should be really easy to use. And what you don't want to do is, after holding it in front of the screen, be then fiddling for 5 minutes trying to figure out how to turn the sound off. So we've got an on-screen symbol just to turn the sound on, turn the sound off. So if you're not familiar with the device, you can just do that. You don't have to find where the volume buttons are or anything like that.
That's really useful. I was involved in some of those field trials, and I remember one of the directors when we were doing a piece saying, "What is that strange noise?" And it was really useful for the people who were holding up their phone just to be able to hit the mute button, because we don't want that flooding out when it's not necessary. Excellent. So Steve, the visual side of it, does it be anywhere in the frame? Do you have to hold it in a particular position in order for people to get a reading?
It works best when it's occupying the majority of the frame, but really it just needs to be in shot somewhere. The analyzer will track its position, so if you are moving around, it will still pick it up. And the output of the analyzer gives you a confirmation markers in the corner of the screen just to show I found it, it's there. So if you're unsteady or if you've got shaky hands, that will still be picked up by the analyzer.
Fantastic. I have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, you probably noticed that I'm not the steadiest of hands myself. It's just the way I am. I was born that way. It's a genetic condition. It's just a benign tremor. But honestly, if it works with my hands, they've had probably the hardest test subject to go through. If it works with my hands, it'll work with anybody's. Okay, well, thank you very much for your help today, Steve. So this is Russ and Steve outside in the beautiful sunshine at Rutland Barn. The national lockdowns that happened were a challenge for many businesses, and we were affected too. But we were quite fortunate in that we were already geared up for people to do remote working. So they already had the equipment, and it was something that felt quite natural to us just to carry on. So as nobody was allowed to travel, we thought, why don't we ask people to try glass near where they live? So here's Anna again, just a short walk from her home.
Right, should we do this glass test? Get it lined up. Make sure the broadcast is. Am I level? Oh,
that's a wee bit.
That way?
To your left.
It's got a tilt detector in it. So if it's tilt it too far, it vibrates. But are we sort of 3/4 zoomed in?
Yep.
Yeah, they should be able to read that then in theory. Give it a couple of frames. Right, that should be able to be read now, so we'll be able to be in alignment when we're broadcasting. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, so this is Anna Hurd reporting from Irvine Beach in Scotland. When we planned this glass test, everyone joked that we'll get Anna to test the glass in Scotland because it will be windy and raining, but as you can see today it's glorious sunshine, no rain, no wind, really lovely day for Scotland. So here we are on Irvine Beach. It's a beautiful sandy beach, 4.5 miles long. In the distance you can see Troon, and you probably have heard of Troon because it's very famous for the golf. And also here we have the dragon. Folklore says that he's been put here to guard against future Viking invasions. Very handsome chap. Kids love to play on him, and it's quite an icon for Irvine. If we follow round the coast a little bit more, you can see in the distance, you can see Arran. Where the clouds meet the top of the land, that's where Goat Fell is. Goat Fell's 874 metres high. They call Arran Miniature Scotland, and you can see why. It's got lovely mountainous area with remote places. It's got 2 distilleries. It's got lovely beachfront little villages, and it's got a castle as well. So it's a really good island to visit if you fancy an adventure. Then if we scan round a little bit more, in the sea there, you can see there's a little rock in the distance behind the fishing boat. That's called Elsa Craig, and on there's some very rare granite which they like to quarry, and they use it for the curling stones. So that's me reporting from Irvine Beach in Scotland on a beautiful sunny day.
Wow, stunning scenery, lovely coastline. Well, from beautiful countryside to a beautiful city now. Over to Dora in her hometown.
I'm Dora. I'm based in Budapest in Hungary, and I work for Hitomi, and this is my lovely city, Budapest. You can see all the view here. You can see the river there, which cuts the city into half. Pest is one side and Buda is the other side, and hence the name Budapest. I absolutely love it. I hope you will visit it one day and you will enjoy it. Bye!
Thank you, Dora. Budapest is a really fabulous place and well worth seeing if you get the chance. So you've seen us doing pieces to camera, gathering some footage for us to analyse. So I guess the right thing to do now is to show you the analyzer itself. Bear with me, and I'm just going to wheel in some hardware. So you've seen us holding up our iPhones doing a piece to camera. You'd probably like to see the receiving end now, which is what we got set up for you here. This is the X-Frame from Hitomi, which is a custom piece of hardware which can take up to 4 cards in it, and each one can be either a generator or an analyzer. We've set it up to be an analyzer here to receive some glass signals. We've thought we can't really have people standing close together in the current circumstances, so in order to pack it all in, we've done something in miniature. Over here we have our reporters interviewing people who are not human, so that's all right. We've got a man with his camera, we've got our roving reporter with her microphone, and there's the 2 guests. This is a live picture, as you can see. This camera here is picking up, and if I put my fingers in, you can see that it gets disturbed on the picture there. There's overlays. On the live picture, meters are put up, and that's where the measurement's going to occur. All right, so we've got colour bars at the moment. Let's reveal glass. So there it is, muted at the moment because that tends to be the way that we work. So I'm going to unmute it. the analyzer sees the visual side of things. You'll notice those green circles going around. That means it's found it visually, and it's also got the audio now. So this rather large microphone for these wee people is picking up the sound from the speaker, and that goes into Matchbox. Matchbox can compare where it finds the video to where it finds the audio, and you'll see there's a measurement on the screen there of the lip sync. It's really that easy. So that is Matchbox Glass. So in this instance, we've measured that the audio is ahead of the video, which is quite a normal occurrence, particularly if the audio takes a very direct path and the video has to go through frame buffers and things like that, which is exactly the situation we've got here. We've got a very simple audio microphone going into an embedder. The camera has got its own internal frame stores, which is going to introduce some delay to the video. So I mentioned before, reassuring that it's right, we're now going to use a frame synchronizer to make a correction for what we've measured. So I'm going to ask my colleague to change the figure and put in a correction factor. Glass continues to measure all the time whilst we're doing this. So it just takes a few seconds for the frame synchronizer to lock up and do its thing. So any moment now you should see a correction factor being added. It's within about a millisecond, and now it's 0. I've got very used to working with glass now, so recently I had a golden opportunity to do something rather special. I couldn't resist packing my camera, the microphone, and of course my trusty iPhone. Hello everybody! Today's clip is a really special one. I cannot believe my luck. We've got a fantastic day and I'm here at an airfield not far from where our office is, and behind me is a historic plane. It lives in a historic hangar. That is a tiger moth, and its owner, Martin, is going to join me right now to tell me all about it. Good to see you, Martin. And let's have a look at your t-shirt. Show everybody this wonderful t-shirt.
Tiger moth.
Fantastic, and I like the hat too. That's not a tiger moth hat?
No, but it's flying. It's Alaska.
Fantastic. Well, let's go and stand by your plane, and you can tell us all about it. She looks absolutely magnificent and in such good condition. I can't believe she's 80 years old, did you say?
80 years old, 1940 it was built.
Wow. And I believe she's got quite some history associated with her.
Yeah, it's been in a few films, The King's Speech. It was Thunderbird 6 in the 1960s, flown by Joan Hughes, very famous ATA pilot back in the war. And it's group owned now, it's a group owned aircraft, 11 of us in the group. And it's the longest running group, one of the longest running groups in Britain, and at 50 years. We celebrated 50 years last year.
So 50 years a group of people has owned and maintained this. So you all contribute to the bills and you take it in turns to fly, I take it?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's all equal. We're all equal shareholders, and certain people do more work to it than others. You know, we have a tech team, we have a team that's a committee around it, and we're all checking each other and make sure that we're within a certain safety standard.
Oh, I see. That's a really good idea. So you can sort of keep an eye on each other and check each other's work.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very sensible. Okay, well, we're going to go up in this later. Well, I have to say that was one of the best experiences I think I've had in a very, very long time. It was absolutely awesome. We've had an hour's long flight, the sun's setting now, and it doesn't matter if it rains for the rest of the winter now. We've had the most fantastic end to the summer. I'm feeling a little bit shaking because it was so exhilarating. We did some tight turns, we did a loop-the-loop, and just awesome. Martin's doing some cleaning up and doing the logs. This engine is designed to leak a bit of oil. That's why he's been going around cleaning it up afterwards. Incredible to think that this aircraft is 80 years old, and Martin pointed out to me, is it 80 years for the...
Yeah, 80 years old. Battle of Britain anniversary today, marking the end of the Battle of Britain.
Wow, did you hear that? Battle of Britain 80 years ago today. How lucky are we? I couldn't resist giving you a closer look at the engine. It's called a Gypsy Major. Now you have to bear in mind how old this technology is, but it's pretty incredible. It's a 6-litre engine. It's only got 4 cylinders, so those cylinders are massive. But it produces 130 brake horsepower, which doesn't sound very much, but just bear in mind how light this aircraft is. It weighs, I think it was Martin said, 670 kilos, something like that. It's very, very light. We managed to push it by hand, just the 2 of us, from here to where we can take off. And well, where we can taxi, beg your pardon, get ready for takeoff. And really, if 2 people can push an aircraft, that means it is very, very light indeed. Fastidiously maintained, as you can imagine, in order to keep this thing safe. And just recently had a rebuild. It leaks oil. It's designed to leak oil. Martin's just had a big clean down. I don't know if you can see, there's a pipe here that comes down, and it's designed to leak oil out of this pan, and then of course as you're flying it sprays all under the underside, making a lovely mess. So each time she flies there's a big clean-up operation, but totally worth it. It's an absolute thing of beauty, and I'm very, very lucky to have had a flight in it. I hope you enjoyed our selection of clips there. What we're trying to show you is that no matter who you are and where you are in the world, if you're doing a piece to camera, there's no reason why you should be out of lip sync if you're working with the Hitomi stuff. The app is completely free, so why not just download it now and have a look? Hold it up in shot like we do.